Alrighty then, don't know what happened there. Not a box stream issue, not a YouTube issue. All of a sudden my laptop froze, the OBS froze. It had nothing to do with content, it had nothing to do with censorship. You know, if I were a shill, I would tell you that they were censoring me and they shut me down, but I'm not a shill, so I won't do that. I told you, I'll never lie to you. Talking about Michelle Malkin, why is she giving oxygen to a guy like Nick Fuentes? Okay? These people, the Goyim Defense League, Nick Fuentes, all these alt-right idiots, they're Soros funded, they're Steyer funded, they're leftists. They are not conservatives. They are leftists passing themselves off as MAGA to make us look like racists, to make us look like anti-Semites, to make us look like bigots. Okay, these are not real conservatives. These people claiming the alt-right now, they're not even alt-right. Okay, they are shills, and I cannot believe that Michelle Malkin, of all people, is giving them oxygen. Extremely disappointed in her. She can't be. She's a really bright woman, so it can't be that she's too stupid to realize what they're all about. So Michelle, what gives? You owe us an explanation. You've consistently been one of the best conservative voices out there. I understand wanting to advocate for freedom of speech, but you do it in a way that you can say, look, I agree with Nick Fuentes' First Amendment right to be a racist and to be an anti-Semite, but it has nothing to do with conservatism. Let him talk all he wants. He does not represent us. That's how you stand up for free speech. You don't stand up for free speech by endorsing what he says. You point out that what he says is despicable and that is exactly why we have a First Amendment right to free speech. The First Amendment does not guarantee speech with which we agree. That's what the left wants to turn it into. But it doesn't mean that just because someone has a First Amendment right to be an idiot, that we endorse them being an idiot. Okay? They have a First Amendment right to be racist. The KKK has a First Amendment right to march in Skokie, Illinois. Hustler has a First Amendment right to post a cartoon of Jerry Falwell's mother in an outhouse. Jerry Falwell doing something with his mother in an outhouse. The fact that they have that right does not mean that you have to endorse that content. So if it was an inelegant defense of First Amendment rights, fine, you owe us a clarification, because do not throw your lot in with the Nick Fuentes of the world. All these alt-right people, all these shills, and all the grief I got from people for pointing out that Screwy Louie down on the border in Arizona was a shill, and all these people that I call out. The only reason I do it, I'm not profiting off of that. The only reason I'm doing it is to warn people and guide people and give people the benefit of the knowledge that I have that they might not have. This is education. It might be, I call it news and nonsense, and it might be a lot of fun, but really what I'm trying to do is to pass on knowledge that I have to help educate you. I learn from you as much as you learn from me. The comments are fantastic. But Michelle, really, I'm glad that you were let go from Young America Foundation, because that's really not where we want to be positioning ourselves as conservatives. Now, in the theme of intellectual honesty, I'm going to continue with that. I got to give props to Stephen A. Smith. I do not like Stephen A. Smith. I think Stephen A. Smith is racist. I think he's mostly a jerk. I do not agree with him 99 out of 100 times, but intellectual honesty requires me to give him credit where it is due. And it is due here because he called out Kaepernick. Kaepernick does not want a job. 25 teams showed up to an NFL facility with NFL amenities, video, everything. 25 teams showed up to give this chump a shot at playing in the NFL again. And what does he do? As Steven says, not on Tuesday when he found out, not on Wednesday, not on Thursday, not on Friday, but Saturday, 3 hours before the tryout, all of a sudden, he wants it to be at a high school. A high school instead of an NFL facility? Yeah, because he wanted to stream it live on YouTube. He wanted to make it a social justice BS thing. He wanted to use his own receivers, blah, 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 blah. Had nothing to do with him being ready to play in the NFL. He doesn't want a job. And here's how you know. If he really wanted a job playing professional football, do you remember a guy by the name of Doug Flutie? Yeah, Doug Flutie won the Heisman Trophy for Boston College, 1984. Did Doug Flutie play in the NFL? Doug Flutie played most of his career because he was too short, couldn't see over the linemen. Because these linemen, believe it or not, are my height, and they're literally like 3 times as wide as I am. And they're also faster than I am. I mean, these guys are just freaks of nature, literally. I got to see the Fridge play in the Bears Super Bowl season. I got to see him play in Detroit. And we were sitting in the upper deck of the end zone for the game. And at the end of the game, in the 4th quarter, so this is after 3.5 quarters of Fridge being on the line and pushing and shoving guys and expending all the energy. It's the end of the game when you're supposed to be gassed, right? There's a fumble. And who picks up the fumble? Fridge. And Fridge is rumbling, man. I mean, he is rumbling. And he finally ran out of gas at the 10. They caught him and tripped him up at the 5, and he landed like at the 3. But I was blown away. Here's a guy who is a monster. At the end of the game when he's supposed to be gassed, and he ran over 90 yards, returning a fumble. It was phenomenal. These guys are unbelievable athletes. Well, Doug Flutie couldn't see over him. He wasn't tall enough to see over him. That's why most quarterbacks are 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", because you got to be able to see over the lineman. Anyway, Doug couldn't play in the NFL. Did Doug piss and whine and moan? No. What did Doug do? Doug played in Canada. Colin, why haven't you been playing in Canada? I'm sure the Toronto Argonauts or the Montreal Alouettes would love to have your quarterback skills. In your first season, you brought San Francisco to a Super Bowl, so you got game. Why would you be working out for 3 years instead of playing? You could have been making money. You could have been making bank. You could have been winning championships up in Canada. How come you weren't doing that, Colin? Because you don't want a job. This is all BS that your SJW Bullwinkle girlfriend put you up to. Mr. Adopted by a white family, and now all I can do is scream racism with a 9-foot afro. You're a fake, you're a phony, you're a fraud, and good on you, Stephen A. Smith, for calling him out. On this one, I gotta give you props. All right, again, if you like the Choose Greatness mug, or you like the cap, available on the website. I'll put the links in the description. Please like and share these videos. Tonight it's 2 videos, so please do it 2 times. Really appreciate it. Again, have no idea why the laptop froze. It did. It's never happened before. That's all I got for you tonight. Look for Brooke McGowan and I to be making a big announcement with MAGA Institute soon. I know a lot of people are asking, for the information we can provide. We got some really good information for you. That's going to be coming up soon. And until next time, which will probably be tomorrow night after the shift show, God bless you. God bless these United States. Keep fighting the good fight.